Hello, welcome back. Artist Cycling. I'm Greg Leach. This is the Tour de France, and this will be Matteo Jorgensen. Despite the mixed heritage name there, one of the Americans on the Visma team. And this is the individual time trial, which is, I've only ever done one of these in my life, and I was not brilliant at it. I was young. I did not have a TT bike. At that point, actually, aero bars and a lot of the technology wasn't invented yet. I say I was young, so I'd say mid-70s. You know, they've been showing a lot of the old Tour de France TT bike stuff, and well, it was Greg LeMond who first introduced just the aero bars. Pippin has decided to chime in, let you know he's here. So, I haven't talked about it because it just happened with the last stage, and after I had painted the image for the day, for the, you know what I'm trying to say, posted on the YouTube, filmed the YouTube video for the day, but the leader of Visma, for whom Jorgensen rides, crashed and is out of the tour. Fortunately, it was, as he put it, just a broken collarbone. And he can, I mean, he, 2 years ago, maybe 3, had a horrible crash in, forget what the race was, but it was one of the, hesitate to say minor races, but one of the not one of the 3 major tours. Enough so that it was like a bit of a concern that he would ever ride again. I think actually well, that's like, you know, Egan Bernal, who I've painted in this tour and former Tour de France winner, was in a wreck where he actually was out on a training ride and rear-ended a bus, which, ugh. Back when I was a courier, I had some bus incidents. That was also in the 70s, but a little later. The other thing with my time trial, speaking of incidents with cars, which apparently happened for another one of the Americans in the race today, little road rage incident. I would hesitate to say good to know that the French have the same issues with cars at times. I always think of it as a more hospitable place to ride. Probably rather foolish on my part. But that time trial was not long after I had my first encounter with a car, somebody making a left turn, and either didn't, well, actually she claims she didn't see me. She said she didn't see me until I went through her windshield. So yeah, it was a pretty bad wreck. So I did that, and of course I'd taken the major impact of that wreck, of that car hit right on my thigh. So trying to race a time trial with a rather bruised thigh was not great. The hard part of painting these time trials is, one, to make the race ride interesting, because it's one guy against the clock, so it tends to be just a solo rider. But it is, and then the others determine who's going to win. So we're, I figure, a little over halfway through the start list. And it's hard to know who's going to win the stage. So right now, Amrai has the best time at the finish. And the start list goes, the person, the Lanton Rouge, the last person on the GC goes first, and then they work their way up through the standings. So the yellow jersey always goes last. So Tade will be the last to start, and the second to last person to start, Remco Evenepoel, is the current world champion in this discipline. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out today. So the point being that, I hope that I'm going to paint the winner of the stage, but I also don't want to paint 4,000 paintings. I mean, let's say not any one of these riders, but many of these riders could pull out the win. And so I would have to paint 30 or 40, trying to guess who's going to be the stage winner. Let's be real. That ain't going to happen. So that's a bit of a predicament. But I will soldier on. And there's our friend Pippin again. Who knows what he's working at, including himself. So it was Visma who introduced these very bizarre, giant aerodynamic helmets that got mimicked mercilessly or ridiculed when they first introduced them. People liken them to the helmets in Spaceballs, a wonderfully goofy Mel Brooks parody of Star Wars. This is going to be not a particularly what's the word I'm looking for? Sorry. Not going to be a whole lot of color or a whole lot of variation. And that's the other problem with painting the time trial is they're not chromatically very interesting. And you've got Visma's kit. And so like here, I've painted two paintings and they're both of Visma. Yes, there's a little bias there. And I will admit that I'm a big Vingago fan, so it's going to be interesting to see how the race pulls out from here, plays out. Particularly for Visma, it's like you've lost your team leader, and now you have to sort of regroup, figure out your strategy for the rest of the race. I mean, it obviously becomes stage wins because all of the team is pretty far down the GC because their objective thus far has been to ride as hard as they can for Bingago and leave him, you know, when they're done, they roll off, so they're not sitting very high up. See, like it would be different for some of the other teams, most particularly UAE, because while Tadej is leading, if he had crashed out, they would have Del Toro in a high position. They would just switch team tactics to him. So, as the race moves forward, we'll see what Visma chooses to do. I mean, their only option is to race for stages now, which both Jorgensen and Sepp Kuss, the two Americans on the team, are certainly in a good position to do. Now, I've been believing the announcers and saying, okay, the sprints are over for this year. But tomorrow's stage looks very much a sprint stage, so I don't know where this all came from. So I'm closing in on getting this done. So you just made a mistake. Well, okay. So that's to remind you that all the paintings are for sale at my blog, theartofcycling.blogspot.com. That will be in the description below. Well, I say they're for sale there. They're actually for sale at my website, but if you go to the blog, you can see the paintings, and there's a direct link at each place where you can purchase the paintings at my website securely. I, of course, naturally hope you will do that. Plus, I hope you will consider subscribing. No new subscribers to thank over the rest day, but hopefully one of you all, or two, or three, or four, or all of y'all, all y'all. Remember the first time I heard that down here in the South. Cracked me up. And so hopefully, hope you enjoyed watching this. Please leave a comment, ask questions about the time trial or the Americans in the race or whatever. I'll do my best to address those in the video tomorrow. Thank you guys so much.